Hello chess lovers, Soren here, and in this video I want to share with you a fantastic attacking game played by the 6th world chess champion Mikhail Botvinnik. His opponent is Soviet chess player and renowned chess composer Vitaly Chekhover, and the game was played in 1935 at the Moscow International Tournament. In this game the future world chess champion had white pieces and he opened up with knight f3, to which Chekhover responded with d5. c4, ready opening is on the board. e6, b3, knight f6, bishop b2, bishop e7, e3, black castled kingside, bishop e2, and c6. Like in the semi-Slav defense, black is setting up a very solid, but at the same time a slightly passive pawn structure. Here Botvinnik castled kingside, knight bd7, knight c3, a6. Quite possibly by playing a6, black was aiming to extend on the queen side. Knight d4. This is a provocative move with which white wants to provoke a move like c5, but instead we have d takes c4, b takes c4, knight c5, and f4, both taking under control the e5 square, preventing e5, and at the same time by extending on the king side, white can later create a nice attack, something which we are going to see in our game. Queen c7, knight f3, rook d8, queen c2, knight cd7, and there it goes d4. Finally Botvinnik's d-pawn is tapping on the 4th rank, and in a classical style he is occupying the center of the board. c5, in return black is undermining white's center, and we have knight e5 by Botvinnik. Although once black played c5 and allowed d5, this is a move which is pretty much playable and can even give white a pretty nice game. After the exchange on d5, white can gain a nice passed pawn, but instead Botvinnik decided to centralize his knight. b6, bishop d3, c takes d4, e takes d4, bishop b7, queen e2, knight f8, hitting on d4, and knight d1. Botvinnik is not only protecting the pawn on d4, but at the same time he's starting a long knight maneuver. He wants to transfer his knight to the king side. Rook a7 by Chekhover, which looks to be a very strange move. Instead it was better to play knight g6. In the game we see rook a7, and quite possibly the idea of this move was to strengthen the 7th rank, but this looks too strange. Knight f2 by Botvinnik and queen b8. First we saw rook a7 and then queen b8. This is a very passive approach, of course, and soon we will see that these pieces are finding themselves out of the game and will not have a chance to defend their king. Knight h3. Already by bringing the knight on h3 square, Botvinnik created a very nasty knight g5 threat, targeting the vulnerable pawn on f7. h6 by Chekhover. It may seem that by going for this move, black took under control the g5 square and stopped knight g5 jump, but in here Botvinnik delivered a surprise and he put his knight on g5. This is a very powerful move and we can give this move double exclamation marks. All Chekhover could do was to accept the piece sacrifice, and we have f takes g5, and there we have it. Suddenly Botvinnik is managing to open up the f file and black is in trouble. Knight 8 d7 by Chekhover, but this is not the most accurate defense. Bishop e4 is the move which could allow black to prolong his resistance. And then bishop takes g5, but after knight c6 fork, again white is winning. Instead we see knight 8 d7, which is even worse, and stepped into another marvelous move. If you wish, you can pause the video and try to find Botvinnik's next move. Ready? At this point, of course, even this simple g takes f6 is winning, but Botvinnik chose knight takes f7. So there we have it. Botvinnik is sacrificing his whole cavalry. First going for g takes f6 and then knight takes f7 is also playable, but we have knight takes f7 straight away. King takes f7 and g6 check. So far so good. Botvinnik's attack was precise, but this is a mistake and is allowing black to repel white's attack. Instead, why not g takes f6? This is the move which is winning on the spot, and then queen h5 check. and then white can go for an exchange sacrifice, remove the defender, and then bishop g6. Black king is defenseless. If here, then rook f1, and yes, the game is over. Queen h7 followed by rook f6 is the threat. Instead, we see g6 check. And the problem with this move is that by going for king f8, black could put a tough resistance. Now if queen takes e6, threatening checkmate in one, then black has a very nice defensive resource. Knight e5 can follow. D takes e5 is not good because suddenly in this case black is managing to activate his pieces, and now it's white who is in trouble. And then rook takes d3, and black is managing to neutralize white's attack successfully. And then queen b7 check can follow. It's black who is winning. That's why after knight e5 white should play queen h3, the only move which allows white to keep the balance, but in here black can play knight f3 check, the whole idea of which is to block the f file and neutralize this rook. Yes, if g takes f3, then queen f4. The engine evaluates the position as equal. Let's go back in our game to g6 check. Chekhover answered with king g8. His king is hurrying towards the h8 square, but this is losing. And now let's see how Botvinnik finished up his opponent. Queen takes e6 check, king h8, queen h3 check, king g8, bishop f5. As the light squares are vulnerable, this bishop is hurrying to exploit them. Knight f8. And already at this point Stockfish shows mate in 15 moves. Here comes bishop e6 check. Knight takes e6 is forced. Queen takes e6 check. King h8. Queen h3 check. King g8. And another staggering move by Botvinnik, a similar one which we have already seen in one of the previous lines. Can you find the best move for white? Ready? That move just asks itself to be played, and we have rook takes f6, removing the defender. Bishop takes f6, and we have queen h7 check. First playing rook e1 is allowing white to mate faster, but this is also winning. Yeah, just no way out. Rook e1, bishop e5. Chekhover was hoping for rook takes e5 in order to give up the queen and prolong his resistance, but Botvinnik went for a straight kill, and we have queen h8 check, king e7, queen takes g7 check, king d6. There we have it. We have a very beautiful king hunt. And now let's see where is the checkmate. King c6, d5 check, king c5, bishop a3 check. Yeah, finally the bishop is also harassing black. King queen e4, king c3, bishop b4 check. Where is this black king going, guys? And just take a look at this rook and queen, which Chekhover placed very awkwardly, and they can't help their poor king. And in here, yes, finally on move 43 we have a checkmate on the board. A very, very impressive attack by Mikhail Botvinnik, where by sacrificing both knights he managed to destroy opponent's position and start a king hunt. There was a flaw, of course, in Botvinnik's attack, but the renowned chess composer failed to spot it. In the end, the chess puzzle for you, where the task is to find the winning line for white. It's white to move, and as usual, I will wait for your answer in the comment section. Feel free to check out my early uploads as well. We'll see you in my next video. Take care.